All right. Good to see all of you who have been able to make it, and also those who I know there's people going to be watching this recording. So we have a treat today. Really, I'm really excited about this. We have Dr. Deborah Smith that's going to be talking to us about her publication journey. She not only wrote one book, which would be enough for most people in their lifetime, but she decided, no, she's going to write 3, and she's going to keep writing. So she's going to explain her journey, both what it took to publish, but then also I think she's going to talk about some of how she used AI with that to keep within that theme that we've been talking about of utilizing AI to augment our work, and then also about future, and then be able to get us thinking about that possibility of possibly using things like the tools she has to maybe publish for ourselves, because we all have a story to tell, as she'll probably share. Before we get into that, we are going to have, I've got a few announcements to do. And then we have Jesse's going to kick us off with an icebreaker, which I'll break you all out into teams so we can have a little more intimate time getting to know each other. Then I'll introduce Deborah formally, and she's got a little presentation. She's going to talk. Then we'll do another breakout where we have some things we'll all talk about. Okay. So before I jump in, I do want to remember to highlight that we have our Lean Healthcare Academic Conference coming up October 4th and 5th. If you haven't already registered for it, go for it. It's a great conference. Really enjoy it. You won't be sorry you signed up for it. And we also, I'm glad Morgan's on, we also will have a in-person gathering. I think, Morgan, it's the second day at lunchtime, right? Yeah, we're going to have something. Stay tuned for more. There's going to be more coming, but second day of the conference at lunch, we're all going to get together. Of course, we'll connect with each other before that too. Also, we have special. Last time, if you recall, if you were there, you might have got one of our fun mugs that were SCIP and had a little bit of statistical humor on them. This year we have caps, which should be fun. So if you attend the conference and you're part of SCIP, which you all are, come see me and you will get a awesome cap. They're really nice. The next thing, I think there might be one other. Nope, that's it. That's all of my announcements. So now I would like to pass it to Jesse. Jesse, you're up.
Good morning. Thank you for joining. I said, as Ryan alluded to, we're all super busy. And when I get really busy and stressed, I try to ground myself in what I'm grateful for. And so in our quick icebreaker, we have about 10 minutes to 11:15, I think. Please, just with the group of 3 or 4 that you're with today, share what you are grateful for today. And if possible, if you have a picture or some kind of image that shares that. And so certainly, I am very grateful for my parents. They were recently married for 50 years and provide a lot of love and inspiration to me, especially when things get crazy and busy. So I just ground myself in gratitude for my parents. So just a quick example of something. I would hope that you have opportunity to meet someone new this morning and express our gratitude to each other. Whenever you're ready for breakouts. Thank you.
All right, get ready with your pictures. All right, here we go. We've got about, is 4 or 5 people too much? Maybe that 4 people should be about right?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay. All right, sure. Here we go. I'm gonna break this out.
Thank you.
Intrepid.
Welcome back, everybody. I know that some of you got just dumped in a room when you joined. That was me. Mohammed, I know you were one. A few other people got just dropped in somewhere. So hopefully that all worked out. I know there's some people that joined I don't see now. Maybe they had to drop off. Okay. All right. Well, now for what I know many of you have come to hear, we have just an amazing special guest. Some of you have gotten to meet her. You were in the breakout room with her, but Dr. Deborah Smith is a treat. She is just a ball of joy. I mean, she's always smiling. I think she's got one of the best temperaments and attitudes I've ever met. I love talking with her. She every time I hear her speak, it's just something new and encouraging or inspirational comes out, and I learn a lot from her. So hopefully I expect you will as well. Uh, she is the fairly recent author of 3 books, and I sent them in the invite, so you have them there. They'll also be on the mural page that you'll have a chance to look at in a moment when we do the breakouts again. And she's going to talk to us today about her journey of authoring these books, how she did it, some of the publishing challenges that she ran into, and then hopefully also inspire us to possibly write books of our own. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop the intro and pass it to her because she's the real star of the show. So Deborah, you're up.
Well, thank you so much for those very kind words, Ryan. It's so great to see familiar faces, and I'm looking forward to meeting many of you as well. So with that, I want to get started. I've got 22 slides. I'm going to do it in 15 minutes, and I'm going to have a time for questions at the end, if you don't mind. So if you'll watch the chat for me, Ryan, I'd greatly appreciate it. And I want to make sure you can see my screen, okay? It's in full presentation mode.
It is. We're good.
Okay, I'm going to get started. Well, first of all, this is so exciting for me to present to you. One of the things that I learned along the way is all about artificial intelligence. And here it is, this human against the machines. And as Ryan said, I've written 3 books. They're on Amazon, and I'm working on others. And it is addicting. It really is once you get started. But I have such an amazing career to share. People have invested in my life throughout my career. I've gone to wonderful courses. I've got a lot of stuff up here in this brain of mine. And I wanted to leave a legacy, not only for my girls and my granddaughter, but for those that I've had the opportunity to work with. So I've been taking courses on AI. My first book, I didn't know about AI, but my second and third book, I learned about AI, and I learned how to integrate it into the work that I'm doing. So with that, I'm going to get started. And first thing I learned is that you got to teach your AI system who you are and the business that you're in. And I'm going to speak specifically to Chat GPT 3.5 version. The 4 version you have to pay for, so I don't pay for it. I just use the free version. But I also use Bard and Bing. And I like both of those. Bard and Bing are a little bit more up to date. Chat's only up to 2021. But I use Chat the most. And then I verify things through Bard and Bing. So Amazon is being bombarded with new books so much that they're way behind. The book publishers, the book printing companies are behind. But to write a book using AI, it goes so much faster. So I want to share these 7 prompts with you, and I hope it inspires you to want to write a book and leave a legacy for your family and your friends. So you got to teach ChatGPT who you are. So when you give them prompts, you want to tell them, I'm Deborah Smith. I'm a healthcare consultant. I do leadership coaching, and you tell them who you are because they remember your prompts when you go in and start a new chat. And so once they get to know you, then they can help guide the information that you want to get for your book. And from there, after they understand who you are and your business, the first thing they're going to ask you, well, who's the target audience? What type of book is this? Is it an autobiography? Is it fictional, non-fictional? And all of this stuff I had to learn. In my first book, I took all of the courses. One of my professors told me when I was in my master's program, and she knew I was going to go for my doctorate. She said, write every paper on the same topic, because if you do that, when you get to have to write your dissertation, you're going to have all your research. And it was such a smart advice to me. So I had a lot of information on leadership and communication and the topics that I've been involved in for years. In my first book, I used a lot of that information. Well, the second and third book, I used a lot of information from chats and the artificial intelligence. So with that, you'll want to be able to pick a publisher. And my first publisher was Kindle Book Publishing. And one of the ladies took me to a conference in Phoenix, and I learned about what all these women were doing and making all this money writing books and going to all these conferences and speaking and getting paid. And I thought, oh, wow, that'd be fun. And so I started in February, and by the end of July, I had completed 3 books. My first book, I used Kindle publishers. I paid my money. Originally, I found publishers from $500 to $5,000. And I thought, oh, I can't afford $5,000. So I finally found a promotion from Kindle, which was part of Amazon, for $500 to write my first book. Wow, I was just so excited. But you know what? I didn't know to ask. It needs an ISBN number. That costs $400. I didn't know to ask that you need a copyright, a privacy thing. That costs $300. So all of this stuff I learned in my first writing that I knew how to deal with the second group of publishers. And the second group of publishers, I used Book Solution publishers, and they were much cheaper, much more upfront about cost and things. So once you get started and you're ready to hire a publisher, be sure and research what the total cost is going to be. Now, I know I wanted to write a book on leadership for women. I wanted women to be future leaders. So I told Chat, my target audience is going to be women from ages of high school till end of their career, because at the end of the career, they can now become mentors and coaches. So they knew that it was women. I said, I want to know what the pains and the desires of women are in their careers. And so they start giving you all of these bullet points. And then you tell them, I want to write a book that people want to read. I want it to be a magnet book. I want people to want to pick it up and want to read it. So it's keeping all of this information chronologically for me in bullet points. And then after they know who my audience is, and I know the pains and desires, then I start eliminating things and I focus on the top things that I want to do. I never erase anything. I keep everything, because they may give me 5 pains, but I'm not really writing on those pains. But when I get into chapter 10, I might want to write on those pains. So don't eliminate anything. Keep everything in one document. Then I started coming up with ideas, for the book. I want to know that the pains are that they don't have the self-confidence. They have the experience. And so I start to get those, and I'll read it, and they'll give me this bullet, and I say, oh, that's boring. I want it to be a lead magnet, rewrite it, make it exciting. So with that, if you would just put in chat, I won't address it right now, but do you have an idea for a book? What would be your book? If you could write a book today, what would that idea be? It might be about leadership. It may be a fictional topic you want to write about. But if you would just, as I'm talking, think about it and put it in chat for me. And then I'm going to go on. And then after you get your audience, what their desires, their pains are, and then you're going to tell Chat that you want to write an ebook. Remember, there's ebooks, there's paperback books, there's hardback books. And so you say, my first book's going to be an ebook. It's going to be on Amazon. And so you're going to start telling it more information. And after you do that, and you say, well, I want 10 potential titles. And once you get those 10 potential titles, you pick one or two, you rearrange the words, say, I don't like this word, give me something more inspiring. And then you're going to take that title and you're going to go to Amazon and you're going to check to see if someone's already written a book on that title. Now, this is a lesson learned for me because I wrote one book on business performance and process improvement. I did it on Digital Draft is a platform that you can write books free. It gives you an ISBN number. It gives you a copyright for free. And so I said, I'm going to try that platform. And so I put it out there on Digital Draft, and Amazon denied it. And the reason they denied it is because there's thousands of books on performance improvement out there. So they denied it. So once you get your title, go to Amazon and see if there's books out there already like that, because if there are, they're probably going to deny it. Then you're ready to start your outline. Your publisher's going to say, you got your title, you know what color you want your book cover, your back cover, you know what your target audience is, you got all of this. Now you're ready for an outline. They're going to ask you, what do you want to write about? So you ask AI, you say, I want to write an outline, and these are the topics that I'm interested in for women. Give me 5 topics, and I want the chapter and the outline to include like an introduction to that chapter. If I'm writing on leadership, I want an introduction to leadership. I want a bio section. Tell me other leaders and what they've talked about. I want quotes. At the end of my chapter, I want summary sentences. And then this is really important. I said, I want a call to action. If they like my book, I want them to go to my website and I want them to do a consultation with me and invite me to be a speaker. And I want them to buy the book. So you got to tell them what to write in your chapters. And then you go from there and then you say, okay, it's time to write a chapter. And you can only ask it to write one chapter at a time. And that chapter is going to become like bullet points all the way down through there. And you're going to need to tell it not to only write chapters, bullet points. You're going to say, okay, we're at the introduction. You've given me some thoughts. I want to take introduction number 4. Will you write me a chapter? And they write you that chapter they write you that paragraph in that chapter on leadership. And you say, oh, that's boring. I don't like it. It's not inspiring. I want people to like that introduction so well they can't put the book down. So they rewrite it till you get it to where you want it to be. Only ask it to do one chapter at a time, one thing at a time. And so what I have found in working in this is that you say, I want to know the definition. I want to know the source. I want to know who said what. If you ask too many questions in that prompt, it only answers a couple of them. So try to make your prompts 1 or 2 statements, not a whole lot of questions at one time. And you have to do it in a sequence. So you write your chapter, and then you start on your second chapter until you get it right. And with that, then you can say, congratulations, I've got my first book. I put it all in Word. I go through and I take out what I don't. I add my experiences in there. I think of people that I've worked with and situations and projects that I've worked on, and I try to add that to it. And so I would have to say, congratulations, you started your first book. It's that simple. And it takes time. You get your first draft done before you hire your publisher. Please do as much work as you possibly can, because once you hire your publisher or your editor, they put you on a timeline, and it is aggressive. They want to get rid of you, get the book done as quick as you can. So with that, I just want to let you know that I've got 4 books published, 3 on Amazon, 1 on Draft to Digital. I got 2 more books, 90% complete. I'm working with the Book Solutions. Once you go back to them, they give you better pricing. If I recommend any of you, they're going to honor my pricing and give it to you, which is a great gift. And I've got 4 TV slots coming up. I'm so excited to be on Fox News and NBC. I'm going to New York, and I'm going to see my book on the big Mobiletrons in Times Square. I've got a new website. I got new social sites, and yes, it costs money. But guess what? I got my first royalty check this week, and I am so excited. It's not paying for it yet, but it's a thing in progress. It's a journey, and it is so much fun. My next book coming up is Surefire Business Success. It's got 14 chapters, and I worked for hours to come up with that title. Something that's not on Amazon, that I'm hoping that they'll accept it, because it's a lot about all the methodologies that you and I have used for years. And I'm working with an emergency department. I've got a physician who's working with me on physician utilization. He is so excited. He's a young urologist. I'd love to write a book on men leaders. Everybody keeps saying, can the men read the women leader book? I said, yes. And so I'm looking, I want to be a co-author on this men leaders. I want a man to be the leader on it. And then I'm working on writing a women of the Bible and correlating with us today. With that, I have included a Word document with the prompts that I went through with you today. So you can see it. It has to be all redone, but it asks the questions, and you can start to see how you can get your book together. And then here's my first book. It's my autobiography. It's all my experiences. I have things in there that I would not have shared. I got permission from my living sister to tell about our life growing up. I contacted my uncle, who's the only uncle alive. I said, I'm going to share some things that is not good for our family. Are you okay with that? And he said, yes, share it. So that's me growing up. I have the amazing opportunity to work with all of these women across the United States and other countries. And this one lady here, Kathy Barnes, she was writing her chapter and she died before she got to finish it. So her family finished that chapter for me. And I dedicated the book to her. And also you'll see Lisa there. Lisa Schilling was at Stanford. She wrote a chapter. Then I got all of these young women to write chapters. And there you see Ame wrote a chapter. But these are young girls aspiring to be leaders in the future. And so I read their stories and I thought, oh, that's a great story on mentorship. And so I would go to AI and I'd write up and find things on mentorship. And I associated their chapters with topics from AI. So with that, this is a digital draft program that I told you about. It's all free. They get your ISBN number, but look, it publishes to all those different groups, but it didn't publish to Amazon. So with that, I'm not going to use it anymore because I want my books to be on Amazon. And then I hope I inspire you to want to write, to leave a legacy. I have learned so much. One is about the pricing. One is about, I got the chapters from the ladies. The editor wrote some things and I read it and it sounded great, but I didn't compare it with exactly what was in the chapter. And I found some mistakes. So I'm having to go back and have it republished because I would never publish anything that wasn't true about anything that any of my authors wrote. So with that, these are the sites that I use. I used Playground for a long time, but they started charging me, so I quit using it. So with that, I want to stop sharing, answer any questions that you may have, and I'm excited to see what you put in chat for your your topics there. Let's see. New motherhood for professionals. How to understand variation in healthcare leadership. No pressure, no judgment. Oh my goodness, these are great books to consider. Weekend activities in Northern California. Oh goodness. I was just sharing with Ryan, I visited a friend in Idaho last month, and she's taken all these beautiful pictures and she's putting statements and quotes and scripture on it, and she's going to publish a book with me on doing that. And I said, you have to do it. So you never know what's going to happen, but let me open it for questions.
So Deborah, this is Jakaria. Hi, thank you so much for coming. You mentioned that you got your first royalty check, which is exciting. How long do you think, or like, how realistic is it for this to actually monetize? Because I hear a lot of people write books and they spend a lot of money and then it doesn't really materialize. So, but I feel like you've been to a ton of conferences, talked to a lot of people, you've learned the land. So just curious about that.
Jakaria, that's a great question, because at first I wasn't getting anything. And so the publishing company said, well, you don't have a dedicated website. You don't have this and you don't have that. And so once they got these sites up and going for me, I started to see some sales. So I think it's really important that you, and it costs some money to do that, but at least I'm seeing results now. And then the TV promotion, I have a guarantee in my contract. If it doesn't produce in sales what it cost me, then they reimburse me what they said they would, what it cost me to do. So I put a guarantee in your contract. If it doesn't work, you get your money back.
Thank you for that.
What are your thoughts on using social media presence to market your book?
I think it's really important. I get a lot of responses from the book. However, my base isn't big enough yet, so I've got to build that base. And so I join a lot of women's groups and things like that to help only to build the base of people that can see my websites, see my Facebook. I have a different Facebook now than I had on my personal Facebook, but I've got to build that clientele. I always ask people to share, and people that know me, they do share, so that helps a lot. Okay, Ryan, I think that does it. I hope I inspire you to write your book. It's fun. It's just a way to take all of that knowledge up here and put it on paper. And you never know what you're going to do in terms of helping other people. And if my book helps other ladies or men to be better at their job and make a difference, that's what it's all about. It's not about Deborah Smith getting rich. I'm not going to get rich from this. I'm having fun and I love it. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. That was outstanding. Really loved it. And yeah, I mean, if you get rich, that would be a bonus, I think. If you do, yeah, let us know. We'd love to know and celebrate with you. What I'd like to do now is I'm going to put in the mural link in the chat. I'm going to break us back out into groups, the same groups we had before. And there are on the mural, there's team 1, 2, and 3. There's some questions from the document that Deborah mentioned on there. Certainly you can go through and look those over, discuss them, but I think it might be interesting. Of course, you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But in the breakout, I think it would be interesting to talk about what you think about this concept. Is this something that would inspire you to do your own book? Is this something you have even thought about before? So I'd love to have a conversation about that. and then we'll come back and Jakaria is going to lead us through a quick debrief. And then we have a final piece at the very end. So we'll go maybe only about 7 minutes of this breakout, pretty quick. And then we'll reconnect. Okay. I'm going to drop that mural link in there. So go ahead and click on that. I'll wait for about 5 seconds or so. And then I'm going to create our breakouts again. So here we go. I'm going to open the rooms now. All right. Welcome back. Jakaria, you have a couple of minutes. Don't have much time, but
no, we don't. We don't.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm sure everybody's group went in their own direction because there was so much information on the mural to reflect from. And then Deborah just, I mean, if you had a process map with like, she just laid out from A to Z how to get your book done, and here are the pitfalls, and like even a squirrel like me feels like if I watch it one more time and take some notes, I could do it too. So Deborah, thank you so much for that eloquent, you just walked us down the path. But did anybody in your group have anything that jumped out at you when you guys were sharing about, you know, the opportunity to actually move forward with this? Any of the information were ahas, or any of the information on the mural that you thought, I think I can act on that. So I just want to open it up for a couple minutes, see if anybody had any thoughts. Yes, Morgan. Yeah, great. On the fence, just running around all day. Anyone have any thoughts about your breakout? And I know we have some announcements, so I just want to be sensitive to that. Well, I will say, go ahead, Morgan. Yeah.
I was just going to say it was such a privilege to have Dr. Smith in our breakout today. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I will say that, you know, SCIP is one of these places where we come, we meet new people, we learn people's superpowers, and we benefit. So Mohammed actually offered to do a Zoom with me to work through ChatGPT at a deeper level. So, I mean, you know, if you don't ask, you don't get. But I'm just grateful for everyone coming here that's like-minded and willing to not only learn, but also give your experiences and share to help each other be greater. So if there's nothing that you want to tell on anybody from your group from, I want to give it back to Ryan to make sure that we have time for those final announcements. And again, Dr. Smith, thank you so much for coming. I think you've inspired all of us to know we can, and given us a very effective blueprint to move forward. So Ryan?
Thanks. Absolutely. That was excellent. The only thing I just want to share is one of the things that came up in our group was we talked about AI and the how it has evolved. And we got to talking about, everyone remember Clippy from Microsoft Office? Anyway, it's coming back a little bit somewhat in Epic. Maybe for another time we can talk about it. Anyway, it was fun. Okay, last thing I want to mention. Well, actually 2 things. One is on the link, you have the I like, I wish, I wonder. Please put in some notes there. Tell us what you liked about today. Tell us what you wish you would have heard or spent more time in. And then also what you wonder. This could be topics for the future, or things you would like to hear, or things you'd like to discuss, or problems you're having that you want to maybe have all of us discuss at a future time. The other thing I want to pitch, or at least let everyone know about, is in September, we're going to be coming and asking for the group to start thinking about ways that we can come up with some quality outcomes for this group, or some tangible, measurable outcomes. And I don't want to get that too deep into this group, but I think there are some things that we can start looking at it as things that this group is creating or having an impact organizationally. And if you could just start thinking about that with us over the next month, we would like to be able to quantify the power of this group somehow. So give that some thought. Also, I will be sending out a few of you have suggested some links and some other things that you would like to know more about. I'll go ahead and post them on the website. I know that we have that SMCI website that is on SCIP. I'll be posting this recording there and on our YouTube channel. So all of that will be available. I'll also put some of that notes in our team site. So lots of places, you have plenty of places to look for that information. You can also post things directly to the team site if you want as well. And Deborah will share that, some of that. Deborah, will you share the slides with me so I can go ahead and post those as well?
Yes, yes, I'd be
Okay.
happy to.
Perfect. Yep. So Morgan, yep, they'll be posted. Thank you all so very much. This was amazing. Deborah, you were incredible as always. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
spending time with us and sharing your enthusiasm, your energy, just your presence with us. It was really, really great. So thank you all, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.